Zoe.
Next from Amika Nwanu. The importance of SMEs to the economy cannot be overemphasized, but I don't think this importance is reflected in the current state of SME banking, business banking. What are your thoughts on SME banking and what influenced your answer?
So I'm going to answer that in reverse. What influenced my answer is as...
You've not given your answer, huh? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, patience. Patience is a virtue. So the zero kind of a dashboard is really the front end for a lot of people in small businesses. The thing that you work with day to day as a small business owner is not your bank account. You go to that when there's a transaction. And so I was speaking to a bank executive who's getting more and more concerned about the gap between them and their customer getting larger and larger and larger, and more platforms sitting in there. And that adjacency, as you said earlier, is the real area of innovation. And what are financial services companies doing to really add value there? To me, that's the biggest macro trend, is help me manage my business. Help me understand my cash flow. Help me understand what the future is going to look like. Help me understand where what my tax implications are going to be. Help me understand my business better. And I don't think organizations have really done that particularly well. And so that's going to be the biggest trend. How do you marry that? Maybe it's with open banking, maybe it's with partnerships, maybe it's with building new experiences. But what's that going to look like?
No, I agree. I think it's the service gap is what I'm always interested in. So, okay, you let a certain customer segment have access to an account and a balance and a list of transactions and the ability to move money. But given that they've got that, what work do they have to do to manage their lives, to manage their businesses, to manage their investments and savings? And the more work there is in that gap, the more opportunities there are for technology and fintechs to actually jump in there and do that work for them. And whether that fintech or those services are provided by the bank itself, or whether someone, as Simon was alluding to, intermediates themselves and actually ends up delivering that based on your banking platform, then becomes something we'll find out in the future. So I think SME banking is one of those areas where that service gap is the most felt. You know, we've run small businesses, as I'm sure many of you have, and the number of things that you have to do simultaneously to manage your finances, not just your accounts in terms of what tax am I paying next year or having to submit them to the government, but working out whether you can make payroll next month, or that when my invoices are needed in order to chase up, or what bills I've got to pay in 30 or 60 days, and how all of these things line up. You know, a lot of the accounting platforms still give you that accountancy view, not the business owner, business manager view. So I think that there's this big service gap, which really does provide opportunities to go a long way beyond here's a simple account, a commodity analog account, and to build services on there. And there's going to be, I think, quite a competitive market in the next couple of years as some of the big banks, and even small ones like Tide and Coconut, start to really get to grips with this, especially as Making Tax Digital comes along, a thing by HMRC to get everyone online to be registering their tax.
Indeed.
And that's it for today. Thanks for joining again. Please keep your questions coming. Are we here again at the same time next week, guys?
You say that with a question, of course. We're here every week.
So it's going to be 4:30 from now on, just so everyone across the world can, most of the world can actually can actually tune in. Time for a beer, I think.
Well, a beer, and then get ready for the podcast.
It's podcast time, people. Monday's new show's about to be recorded. Exciting times.